This series of stories is intended to make you laugh, cry, and reflect on your own life. Enjoy a wonderful man, my dad, sharing stories from his life between the years of 1944 to the present.
Many was a Saturday afternoon spent watching a movie at the theater, not some rerun on the boob tube interrupted every 5 or 6 minutes by 5 or 6 minutes of commercials. An actual movie on the big screen in a real theater, sitting in a row of seats with other kids, eating popcorn, candy, drinking a fountain drink, and getting to see some of the best of the real actors of the day in a real live movie. Some of the names are obscure and even forgotten, sad to say. Tom Mix, Lash LaRue, Johnny McBrown, Randolph Scott, Bob Steele, Roy Rogers, Gene Autry, Hopalong Cassidy. Oh, the list does go on and on. Some will always stand as true American icons that they are. John Wayne movies will be shown on the reruns of greats long after some of the so-called celebrities of today are long forgotten. Going to the Saturday movie was a real highlight of the week. Of course, any chores that were required had to be taken care of first, and it also meant that you had best not be caught in some mischief or other activity that would mean you standing on the front porch watching all the others head out to enjoy the afternoon while you paid the price of redemption. Occasionally you might get away with some minor transgression with pleas of how sorry you were and serious promises of better future behavior. Making that Saturday afternoon pilgrimage to the theater was mighty important. You would arrive at the theater with the right amount of change in your pocket, and believe me, if you found at the bottom of your pocket only a hole, you learned real quick to protect against such things. That change got you a small piece of cardboard that you then handed back to a person maybe another 5 or 6 feet inside from where the person that first handed it to you. Anyway, it got you inside. Then came one of the really important parts of getting in the lobby of the theater, the refreshment stand. The smell of fresh cooked, buttered, salted, hot popcorn, oh my. It enveloped you like incense in a worship center, like steam when you walked into a spa, like warmth when you stepped in out of the cold or the fragrance of a beautiful garden on a cool summer evening. But when you're 8 years old, it's popcorn and a soft drink, and that is where a few pennies left over for candy, oh my, that's a bonus. Kids didn't have money to spend on extra things. Most times they didn't have money at all. It was something you worked for. You earned. You put in your time and gained the rewards. Yes, there were some who got an allowance. Our allowance was a nice house, a bed to sleep on, and food on the table on a regular basis. But there were many ways a youngster could acquire cash for a Saturday at the movie. Cutting lawns was a regular in the summer, but not so much in fall or winter. Then you had to bundle up and rake leaves, or, further north, shovel snow. You could wash the car if somebody didn't have to go to work in it. Girls could babysit. Some folks might let you wash their dog, but you always had to make sure of the dog first, and little guys usually didn't get to do that because they just wanted to play with the dog, and then the dog would be dirty and sweaty all over again. A big money maker then was picking up Coke bottles. Grocers and some drug stores would pay you 2 or 3 cents for an empty Coke, Pepsi, or other type soft drink bottle, and then they could, in turn, return it to the bottling company for value on the drinks that they received. With a good bit of hustle, you could have the price of admission and a sizable bit for popcorn and candy. Everybody had a bag of fresh hot popcorn and a drink. With the debate of what went best with it, when you had the funds could be extensive. Fortunately, if it was your money, you got to choose. Milky Way, Butterfinger, Payday, Baby Ruth, all good choices. Maybe Milk Duds, Hershey Kisses, chocolate raisins, chocolate covered peanuts, also very good. Licorice, Jawbreakers, peppermint sticks, mixed hard candy. Wow, no end to the list, and the choice remained in your hands. I almost always had the bag of popcorn, a Coke or Pepsi, and a nickel left over that got me 2 Tootsie Roll Pops. They lasted longer than a bag of almost anything else. May the choice be with you. We loved the cowboys, even if the story and the theme was often very nearly the same. Bad guys steal the good guy's cattle and try to run him off his range. A cowboy in a white hat comes along, meets the good guy's daughter, and immediately sets out to make all the wrongdoings right for the good guy. Then the cowboy in the white hat winds up with the good guy's daughter. All this usually takes about 45 minutes to an hour. But wait, there's more. You didn't have to get up and go out of the theater at any certain time then. When you got there, the projectors were almost always running and didn't stop until it was time to close the doors for the evening. If you got there when they opened the doors and started the movies, you could stay all afternoon if you were inclined to do so, and then your folks always knew where you were, too. You didn't have to watch just a movie. You had a newsreel of the current events of the day, a cartoon of Bugs Bunny being pursued by Elmer Fudd, Porky Pig being harassed by Daffy Duck, Popeye saving olive oil from Bluto, Mickey Mouse trying to avoid some scheme of Donald Duck's. The cartoons of then made you laugh and have fun. No political or social indoctrination allowed. Then came one of the most important parts of being able to make that Saturday journey, the serial series. A serial was a real adventure type that might run for about 20 minutes and then would leave you with a hero or heroine about to meet their demise at the hands of the villain or some alien monster. Flash Gordon fighting off the Martians. Buck Rogers saving the Earth from denizens from outer space. Tarzan fighting the Germans deep in the Congo to help end Nazi regime. The Bowery Boys solving the mystery of the haunted house. But they all had one good thing in common. The good guy or girl would in some kind of life-threatening situation, and that would be where the serial would end until the next Saturday movie. And if you, for whatever reason, missed it, then you might not ever find out how they would miraculously avoid peril and disaster. The serial always made you look forward to next Saturday. Not to forget the coming attractions, the previews, upcoming new movies and stars, not to mention specials. These, of course, let you know what was coming through the theater and gave you insight to what you might look forward to the next Saturday movie time. Will it be another Western with the outlaws, rustlers, and bad guys? Maybe a scary Wolfman, Dracula, Return of the Mummy, even the dreaded Frankenstein monster. Those highlights shown were just enough to keep your interest and ensure a crowd of eager youngsters gathered at the door on Saturday afternoon.